From that failed summit in Vietnam. Let's bring in Vecchio, Republican strategist attorney, and Michael Santo, foreign policy expert. Ken, it does not sound good when the North Koreans threatening to restart their nuclear tests and their missile launches again.
The first thing I got to look at, David, is what are our sources? We've got the Russian TASS news agency. We've got North Korean, South Korean. You might as well throw in like the Cuban Communist Chronicle and the Mickey Mouse Club news to, we've got our own fake news problems here in the United States. But okay, let's take it at face value. I don't think we have a problem here. You pressed me back when we had the first to get this deal done and to see some progress. And I said then we need at least a year, maybe a little bit longer. So we need some more time.
Michael Santo, how about it? I mean, look, it could be that North Korea's got a diplomat putting this out there just for negotiating purposes, but and there's still the possibility, I suppose, that North Korea comes back around. But what do you make of it?
Well, yeah, there is a possibility to come around, but in many ways they seem to be playing us because they haven't really done anything concrete to diminish their ability to progress in nuclear weapons or missile technology. So I think we're in a very dangerous situation, almost as dangerous or perhaps maybe even more than a year ago, actually.
What do you mean? How come more dangerous than a year ago?
Well, the North Koreans do not actually appear to have stopped working on their intercontinental ballistic missile program or the nuclear warhead program. And so a lot of this is a guise. It's a little bit farcical at times. Now, there's a potential, because of course many things they could do that would be wrong could be suicidal for that government in North Korea. But in many ways, it appears like they're continuing with their nuclear programs and with their missile programs, and that these negotiations are just one more farce. They have decades of history of faking it and pretending to negotiate in good faith.
And Ken, other than North Korea's Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump perhaps developing a personal rapport, it doesn't seem like anything's really changed with North Korea, other than the fact that they have gotten the United States to stop military exercises with the South. But as Michael points out, North Korea continues to move forward on its programs.
I think, first of all, that rapport between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un is very important because there's been no such rapport with any other U.S. leader and any other North Korean leader in like the last century. So I think that is great progress in and of itself. We've got to point to some of the other things that have happened during the course of this, getting remains of our soldiers back. There was a lot of missile testing that has been stopped. And I can't stress enough that comments like our colleague here is saying, I think are being very overplayed and are fear-mongering. We're definitely not in a more dangerous situation right now. There's still progress going on. And I do believe what North Korea is trying to do, if we take on face value these news agencies' reports, is they're trying to negotiate. They want to get the best deal possible for themselves. And I do think that we need to give this more time. And we can't expect them that they're going to just stop, all dead. Now, that is what Donald Trump wants, and I think he will eventually get it, that they're just going to completely wipe it out, their entire program. But they want UN sanctions dropped. They want the best economic deal that they can get, and they're going to negotiate it a little bit.
Michael, we heard Secretary of State Pompeo say that he takes Kim Jong-un at his word that he gave to Pompeo and to President Trump that he would not restart the missile launches or the nuclear tests. Is that smart or is that foolish for Secretary of State Pompeo to take Chairman Kim at his word on that?
Well, there's two components to it. It might not be foolish for him to say this publicly. And I do not mean to say that these negotiations are hopeless, but it's not fear-mongering to question them because I would say the odds are, based on decades of history, the North Koreans have progressed. And I'm kind of shocked that we're supposed to bank on what was described as President Trump's mysterious chemistry with the supreme leader of North Korea, or what President Trump called his love affair. We're in a little bizarre territory here. The negotiations are not hopeless, but to say that things are a lot safer based on what?
I don't think there's anything dangerous or bizarre about that. This is really good diplomacy. There's no reason that our president should not try to get along with even the worst of leaders from other countries and try to rope them in to get them on our side. Now, President Trump, he had guts. He walked out of that meeting. He left. He said, if you're not going to give us what we want, then it's done. We're going to stop talking for now.
Well,
but he's trying to keep a good relationship. I'm sorry to use the phrase that you probably don't want to hear, but he's a great negotiator, and I think this is a great negotiation.
Well, let's see some good deals, actually, rather than just pulling out of deals. And what makes leaders very dangerous is the ones who lie and cheat. And the North Koreans have been lying and cheating for decades.
You make a good point there. The North Koreans have lied and cheated for decades, but it's a matter of dealing with the liars and the cheaters in the best possible manner, and I think that he's handling it right. If Kim Jong-un likes Donald Trump, that's a good thing, as so long as Donald Trump doesn't give him what we don't want to give him, and we know that Donald Trump isn't.
But Ken, do things change if North Korea actually does cross the threshold and does another nuclear test or a rocket launch, missile launch, after telling President Trump they would not? Does that change things?
I think it would change something. I don't think it would make things hopeless, as he's saying. I do think it'd be a step in the wrong direction, but it's a balancing test, and we have to understand that they were doing these tests before Donald Trump's first summit. They stopped them. They might start them again, and we'll have to try to stop them again. Hopefully they won't start them again.
Michael, you get the last word, 20 seconds.
There's a good chance this is just delaying for time. I never said it was hopeless, but it is still a very dangerous situation. And we have to hope, but we can't trust the North Korean government at all. They're a little bit like a doomsday cult at times.
Michael Santo and Ken Vecchio, an interesting conversation. And again, North Korea threatening. They have not actually tested another rocket or a nuclear device, but they're threatening to do so. Thanks so much. Good discussion. Coming up, you will not believe it, but Tel Aviv is crawling with